Hello to all. I didn't realize I had like three messages waiting for me. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Okay. I'm wondering if I've picked a bad time of day. And I'll give me a chance to get more things organized real quick. Okay. I think that's ready. I don't think I gave YouTube enough time to know I was here. So, hello. Hey, meow. How are you, Bard? Super happy to see you here. I think the notifications are only just now kicking in on YouTube, so I think I only gave it like 10 minutes warning. So there's times when I'm doing it like a little bit more warning. It's still like bad about telling people I'm here. So like we are gonna watch weird ass stuff. I tried to invite one person on the panel, so but like it's not gonna turn out the way I thought because he's at Waffle House. I'm like, damn it, because I figured it'd be fun to throw like a little mini surprise party and invite people, and it yeah. So so how are you doing? Oh, oh, it's like two of your messages popped up at one time. So apparently there's some lag and delay. Notifications are wacky. I don't tweet that I'm streaming because I've noticed that. Oh, well, thank you. You're good company too. I've noticed that like even fewer people show up if I tweet that I'm going live. It's weird. I have not. I'm yet to understand that. Like it makes no sense. So usually I'll have more people show up if I don't tweet that I'm live. So it's kind of like surprise, motherfuckers. Yeah. Aww. Finishing up laundry. I know how that is. But, aww, why'd you stay longer? They're fun to have around. So you're probably getting. Oh wait, what is today? Oh wait, yeah, yeah. We could have you up here. Well, we, the royal we, me, I guess. Not the channel itself is the we. I don't know. Well, I was going to send you an invite, but if you can't stay, I understand. There's someone else in the chat, but they're not saying hi yet. It's a mystery person. Ooh, and another person has popped in. He showed up on my sub list, so that helps. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe this is a bad time of day. Maybe people are just like not at their phone at the moment or something. I need to figure out when the perfect time for me to stream is. Barely two. I don't know. Maybe 3:30 on a Monday is not great. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to. Oh, wait, shit. Yeah. I wonder if I should have done it earlier because I know I needed to go take care of some stuff and they're like, oh crap. But I had a slightly different plan, but it didn't work out the way I didn't tell the person like what I had planned, so it's not really their fault. So, I guess we're just gonna kind of stream like normal. Oh, it's not gonna be fun, necessarily fun doing this like almost nobody knows I'm on right now. But notification, sorry. Oh, gosh, one person watching. Oh shit. Almost not even looking at screen. But I'll share screen anyway. Share audio. So I'll entertain the two people who are here. We will start with this. This is fun.
As it lasts. Sadly, some things are not meant to be, slowly yet surely consumed by time. And not even locations are immune to this inevitability. Places can disappear as well. Just ask Atlantis. Oh wait, you can't, because it's gone. These are amazing places you need to visit before they disappear. Number 15. Great Barrier Reef. The Great Barrier Reef off the coast of Queensland, Australia, consists of over 2,900 individual reef systems and 900 tropical islands stretching over 2,300 kilometers, and it's fading fast.
Marine life in the Great Barrier Reef is slowly disappearing.
You can swim, snorkel, dive, and sail this living masterpiece, but with the temperature and acidity of oceans increasing because of climate change, many ecosystems just can't keep up. Corals are especially impacted, with over half of the Great Barrier Reef disappearing in the past decade alone. Part of the reason for this drastic change is chloral bleaching. This occurs when coral polyps expel the algae that provides them with up to 90% of their energy. Since 2016, the situation has been getting worse, with over half of the Great Barrier Reef bleached to death. The effects are similar to that of a forest after a devastating fire, with much of the marine ecosystem becoming barren and skeletal with little hope of recovery. One of the 7 wonders of the natural world, time is running out for the Great Barrier Reef. A great shame, considering it contains an abundance of marine life and some of the most beautiful, sun-soaked golden beaches in the world. Like this video, smash the subscribe button and click the notification bell right now, or this centipede will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. Now it's time for the odd topic. This remarkable island located in Honduras is unlike any other we have ever seen. While, like many tropical islands, it is beautiful to look at, as you can see from this photo, it is the underneath where the real unique beauty of this place lays. It's crazy to think that the island naturally looks like this, but here it is. But not for long. While the island may be shaped like a dinosaur's head, it sadly doesn't have the strength of a dinosaur. From what we've heard, the land is incredibly fragile. Experts fear it won't be long before the little island goes the way of Atlantis, crumbling into the waters. And that's a real shame. Remember to comment down below with the hashtag odd topic and let us know your opinion in relation to what we just showed on screen. And now to the next topic. Number 14, Havana. Known as the key to the New World, the island that once served as a crossroads for explorers, buccaneers, colonial powers, indigenous people, entertainers, and exiles, is at risk of disappearing.
Oh, shit.
Founded by Spain in the 16th century, Havana soon became a popular stopping point for treasure-laden Spanish galleons returning to Spain. It attracts over 1 million tourists each year, but if you're planning to be one of them, you better make it quick. From the outside looking in, Havana has barely changed since the 1950s.
I wouldn't have thought Italian
But
beer was
Miami's
that
success is threatening residents' traditional lifestyles, and there is an increasing appetite for property close to the downtown core. The growing value of land, demolition of historic buildings, and the displacement of poorer residents are endangering the area's cultural richness. Experts who have been studying the shifting neighborhood warn Havana residents and stakeholders that if changes aren't made soon, the city they once knew will be no longer. They've been told there needs to be a better balance between development and residents' needs. Plans unveiled last year promise economic vitality and affordable housing, reinvestment on infrastructure, and methods to strengthen the city's character, protecting its history. But is it too little too late for this popular tourist mecca? We hope not. Number 13, the Taj Mahal. The Taj Mahal was commissioned by the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan in 1632 to house the tomb of his favorite wife, Mumtaz Mahal. He is also buried there.
Hold on a second.
An ivory white marble mausoleum, it sits on the south bank of the Yamuna River in the Indian city of Agra. It is the centerpiece of a magnificent 42-acre complex that includes a mosque and a guest house. Today,
I thought this was
the
going to
Taj
be
Mahal is
spookier than it
described
is, but
as
it still
the
looks
jewel
cool.
of Muslim art in India, attracting up to 8 million visitors every year. Although its architecture and rich
people are
history
finally
greatly
coming in.
admired,
All right.
air pollution and
Yeah,
wear
for a
and
few
tear
minutes there it was
are
like
turning
just
it
me and
yellow.
Bard, and I was
The
like, damn.
discoloration
Oh,
of
okay,
its
I guess I'll just go video for one
is due
person.
to oxidization, but the monument has also begun to degenerate, leading it to chip and crack. Experts say that pollution, too, has hastened the process. A garbage-strewn river flanks the monument, and dust and smog belch from the smokestack surrounding it and the vehicles driving by. With the government keen to preserve the incredible structure, strict regulations regarding pollution have been put in place in Agra. These regulations and the
hello everybody
at curbing the process of yellowing. Let's hope it's enough. Number 12, Bordeaux. Bordeaux is the hub of the famed wine-growing region of southern France. Steeped in long-standing excellence and traditional farming techniques, the iconic Bordeaux red blends have been around for over 80 years. But they may have met their match in climate change, which looks to be derailing winemakers in the region. The issue is a temperate one. Literally, 2/3 of the red vines planted in Bordeaux are Merlot, and for centuries, these vines have relied on the local climate to reach peak ripeness. Today, the same vines are being scrutinized as potential future victims of rising temperatures. These unusually high temperatures may lead many of Bordeaux's vintners to source more climate-hardy grapes. But will the wine still be both fine and French? Bordeaux certainly hopes so, as they pull out all the stops to keep their brand on the shelves, taking action to adapt to the growing impacts of climate change. Winemakers have approved new varieties of interest as part of their plans, including some nearly forgotten that will make a comeback. Late ripening experimental grapes may also be added to the mix. These are less likely to rot in the hotter weather. Climate change represents multiple challenges for the agricultural industry, and when a premier wine-growing region begins to reassess ingrained traditional practices, people pay attention, particularly the wine lovers among us. Number 11, The Everglades. As one of the largest tropical wetlands in the world, amassing 1.5 million acres, Florida's Everglades are made up of coastal mangroves, sawgrass marshes, and pine flatwoods that are home to many animal species. Often compared to a grassy, slow-moving river, the Everglades are located on the southern tip of the United States state of Florida. Popular with day-tripping visitors, the largest subtropical wilderness in the U.S. is slowly succumbing to human activities, like many wonders of the world. Water flow, invasive species, and climate change are all threatening the Everglades ecosystem as both the state and federal
I swear, if he says
work
the word
together
climate
to
change one
create
more time, I'm going to
legislation
another
to save
video.
them. Despite the ongoing challenges
I'm here to see
directly
cool
linked to
shit, not
climate
get
change,
fucking
the
political
national
messages.
park still attracts overseas visitors in the hundreds of thousands each year. And with the recent return of the wading birds, many remain optimistic about the wetland's future. But where the water used to be clear, it's now dark and murky. A clear sign that all is not well in one of the largest and perhaps best known wetlands in the world. Number 10, the Great Wall of China.
I like how he says these things. The Great Wall of China.
One on the edge of the Gobi Desert on the west were built as early
He
as
says it
the
with such
7th
dramatic
century
sound.
BC.
Oh, that looks cool.
The most well-known sections were built by the Ming Dynasty between 1368 and 1644, including the much-visited sections north of Beijing. Unsurprisingly, given its age, the wall is now quite dilapidated in places, and what was once believed to be a 21,000-kilometer structure is now closer to 9,000 kilometers if the missing sections are not included. The main contributor
Well, it
to
is
this
pretty
erosion,
fucking old.
however, is not natural, but man-made. Being one of China's greatest
Oh my
tourist
goodness.
attractions, many have been known to break pieces off it to keep as a
Oh.
souvenir.
Oh,
Others have been known
dang.
to steal
Yeah, that's pretty.
I don't know if I want to
old
steal anything
houses
in
or
China. I
sell
don't think
on.
it's safe.
Now, that's
Yeah.
over the top. As well as a willful act of vandalism, it is causing tremendous damage, with the 2,000-year-old structure now
See you later, AFK.
destroyed. Sadly, if this behavior continues, the Great Wall of China that stretches for thousands of miles
Lots of hugs,
will be
Bard.
gone for good very soon. It is recognized as one of the most impressive architectural feats in history, but how long it'll stay that way is anyone's guess. Number 9, Dead Sea. A salt lake bordered by Jordan to the east and Israel and the
That's
West
salty.
Bank to the west, the Dead Sea is easily one of the best known bodies of water on Earth. This hypersaline lake has no outlet, with the water simply evaporating into thin air, leaving just salt behind. The average salt content of the Dead Sea is approximately 28%, approximately 9.6 times as salty as the ocean. Its surface and shores are 430.5 meters below sea level, and it has a density of 1.24 kilograms per liter, which makes swimming similar to floating. The sea level fell below the elevation of an east-west ridge around 1967, leading to the division of the Dead Sea into two parts, a deep northern basin and a much shallower southern basin. The sea levels of both have been decreasing ever since. In fact, if it wasn't for water being pumped into the southern basin, it would have dried up by now. The water level is decreasing at an alarming rate, dropping from around 389 meters below mean sea level in 1970 to 426 meters below in 2012. Over the last 30 years, it has lost a third of its surface area, resulting in a wide range of negative effects, including the decline of estuarine ecosystems, endemic species, the groundwater table, and tourism. If something doesn't change soon, this stretch of water may very well live up to its name after all. Number 8, Venice. The capital of northern Italy's Veneto region, Venice is a World Heritage Site, known throughout the world for its beautiful lagoons and architecture.
Welcome to Venice.
Lined with Renaissance and Gothic palaces, Venice was built on wood piles. And now, due to climate change, it faces the serious threat of disappearing. In the last
one
century,
place is
this
supposedly
peak has
losing
sunk
water because of
9
it, and
inches
another
and
one's
is
gaining
expected
it?
to sink
Okay.
a further 24 by the end of this century. When Venice was first founded, sea levels sat 6 feet below what they are today. Since then, flooding has increased year on year, with 10 in 1900 to 100 today.
Let's find out what's at the bottom of Niagara Falls.
This is what scientists found at the bottom of Niagara Falls that left them so disturbed.
Huh.
But before we start, please make sure to subscribe to Did You Know and hit the bell so you never miss an upload from us. Also, leave a like right now.
Back in the summer of 1969, a group of engineers had found the long-hidden secret of Niagara Falls. The moment they realized how to stop them from flowing, they ventured upon succeeding in it. Yet, no one was afraid of the unknown from beneath, and they should have been. You might think this was a mission impossible, to stem the flow of Niagara Falls, but for these scientists, nothing was impossible. So then, in 1969, its hidden gems were about to get revealed. Keep watching to find out what these scientists discovered.
Oh boy.
Whether you've first seen the Niagara Falls in person or in a video, you were surely amazed by its vastness. Now millions of tourists visit it every year and post their pictures on social media.
That'd be cool to go to.
Twitter.
Indeed.
Many of them even writing blogs and making vlogs about the falls, explaining their personal impressions and excitement. Surely words cannot describe everything, nor can camera depict the real sensations one can get at the actual site. So everyone should visit Niagara Falls at least once in their lives. Still, the site wasn't as amazing 5 decades ago when the scientists decided to investigate it. When scientists decided to look behind the scenes of Niagara Falls, they had no clue what might be dwelling underneath. The moment they announced what their plans were, the public eye was set upon them. Many people wanted to witness this extraordinary moment in history. Tempering
I
nature is
want
always
to see
a
what's
challenge.
under there.
Yeah.
Wondered if these people could really do it. Were their plans based on real possibilities or just wishful thinking? Still, the moment the amount of water in the falls started to recede, these spectators' trust in scientists started to grow. Back in the past, well, about 18,000 years in the past to be precise, Niagara Falls didn't exist. They were formed when ice sheets came from the North Pole, leaving behind the great areas of landscape known as North America. It was not until the huge chunks of ice melted that the falls came into existence. Upon the melting of the glaciers, the vast amount of water was sent into the Niagara River. The falls didn't form immediately. A lot of time had to pass to let the water erode the cliffs and thus form the falls as we know them today. Today, Niagara Falls stands as a natural border between two similar but very different countries, Canada and the United States. Even though they've been visited by many people from around the world, it's not known how long ago they started getting their visitors. Maybe it was thousands of years ago, or even much earlier than that. We can only assume
like
that the
that on
locals were
climate
enjoying
change
their
too?
beauties long before the world found out about them. There are no written records about their first visitors, nor about the first domestic admirers. What's actually known is that many different indigenous communities lived in their neighborhood. There are written records saying that the first person from Europe who heard about Niagara Falls was an explorer from France named Samuel de
So that picture they had up of a native tribe,
Still, he was not the first one from
is
Europe
that supposed to be? Is that just a random picture, or was that supposed to be a picture of like
see the falls in person.
people there?
I don't know. It might be some of the
Seems a little
surviving
African
tribes.
to me, but I don't know. It's like,
5 years after he returned from the falls, Father Louis Hennepin put his thoughts and impressions on paper. He wrote a new discovery article in which the name of the falls first appeared. So basically, as a term, Niagara Falls came into existence in the year 1683. The name came from the word Anguiara, an Iroquoian word which actually means the strait. Upon publishing this article, Father Louis Hennepin became famous as the first person from Europe who saw Niagara Falls. After that, many visitors from Europe came to see the beauty they read about. Not until the 1800s did Niagara Falls become a tourist destination. So basically, about 200 years after its discovery, the first tourists from Europe came to see and admire the vastness of the amazing waterfalls. At this time, the first serious business people, hoteliers mostly, realized the potential of the place. So they started making lucrative investments on the land around the waterfalls. Even at its beginning as a tourist destination, Niagara Falls lured honeymooning couples to its site, and it's remained a favorite destination of newlywed couples even today. The only difference is that in the 1800s, there were few places where people could spend their money, and today everything's overpriced. Not only did the who wanted to enjoy their free time and relax a bit come to Niagara Falls. No, even serious industrialists had seen the good side of the site. They
Ooh,
realized a
what
huge
a-
potential the falls had, and still have even today. They realized they could make use of the waterfall to power their
Hey,
factories
Fatal.
and also their mills. At the end of the 19th century, the world's first hydroelectric generating station was built near Niagara Falls. It soon started producing a great amount of electricity, which could be put into use. Even though the new hydroelectric generating station was a revolutionary invention, it wasn't able to carry electricity the long distances, only up to 300 feet. This was not a good
Wow.
thing, so something had to be improved, but no one knew how. One day, Nikola Tesla came and made a huge impact on the world we know today. What does this actually mean? Well, this man found a way to send electricity to long distances by the use of alternating current. At first, as an
Fatal J, why
experiment,
do
the
you give me
electricity was
that
sent as
cat
far as
face
Buffalo, New
for?
York, which is about 20
It
miles
looks like a very
distance from the power
disapproving
plant.
cat.
Even though this invention was made more than 100 years ago, it still works the way it did at the time Tesla lived. It's as important today as it was in previous centuries. After all, what electricity is better than the electricity produced from renewable sources? Today, these waterfall power plants produce more than 2 million kilowatts of power. In this century, it's become even more significant than in previous centuries, since the cities have become overpopulated and polluted. Only the energy produced from renewable sources like water, wind, the sun can save us from our own destructive nature. Since Niagara Falls is a natural border between Canada and the USA, it naturally belongs to both countries. From both sides, it gets more than 15 million tourists per year, or more than 30 million tourists in total yearly. So basically, both countries share the benefits these waterfalls provide to them. At the falls, 6 million cubic feet run down in 1 minute. Amazing, right? Just
Fatal,
imagine
you're
what
cute. You're
damage
just
could
gonna
that
send me
much
like little
water make
cat
if let
faces,
outside
huh?
the falls. It could ruin entire cities. You know how the saying goes, water and fire are dangerous servants, but fearful masters. Believe it or not, the amount of water in Niagara Falls changes during nights. It happens that there's less water in the falls during nights. How's that possible, you might wonder? Well, because of the human factor. Not something that happens normally and naturally. In fact, the situation is such that the local companies are allowed to take more water from the falls at night. Back in the 1950s, a treaty was signed allowing local companies to take more water at night because there are not many tourists there, and even those who come at the site wouldn't notice the difference. Do you wonder what happens with the falls during cold winter months? Can a waterfall freeze when the temperatures fall below 0 degrees Celsius or 32 degrees Fahrenheit? Actually, the falls partially freeze at some places, but the flow never stops. At least not because of low temperatures, that's for sure. One other thing that happens during the winter months, but also during other
I thought
seasons,
they were going to
is
show
that a
us what they
certain amount of
found when
water
they stopped
turns
the fall.
into
Yeah, it's when are we gonna get to the good stuff?
I know, I'm pissed.
There's only a few clouds. It's amazing. Even though technically speaking, Niagara Falls belong to both Canada and the
Let me see
USA,
if
there are some
Fatal's
parts of it that
messing with
belong
me.
only to the United States of America.
No,
The American
okay, he's
Falls
not.
and the Bridal Veil Falls
Yeah, he's
are
just messing
solely
with me, okay.
American parts of Niagara Falls. On the other hand, there is no part that belongs only to the Canadian side. The biggest part that actually represents the natural border between the countries is
It says
called
that left
Horseshoe
them so
Falls.
disturbed.
On which side of the
What?
border
What,
have you
what was
been
the
Yeah.
survey?
in Niagara Falls? Only people who visit Niagara Falls often can
Apparently
see
got
the
a ways
changes
to
this
go, but
waterfall
still.
experiences
Oh
during the night.
man,
With every new gallon of water that goes down the cliffs, the falls lose a bit of its charm. Well, at least that's according to the citizens of New York who live near the falls and visit them regularly. For every new visitor of the site, the falls has been astonishingly beautiful, whether it was 100 years ago or a day ago. Still, there is the problem that some stones accumulate at the fall's bottom, which might cause some problems in the future. Since the concerns of the New York citizens living at the falls reached both American and Canadian authorities, an organization that takes care of the shared waters was contacted. The name of that organization is the International Joint Commission. Since the Americans were concerned about the American Falls, they were those who suggested that something had to be done with the accumulated rocks at the bottom of the waterfalls. Even the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers was asked for their expert opinion on the matter. Since there were no other solutions for the problem of the accumulated rocks at the bottom of the cataract, the engineers decided to shut it down. Well, this was just temporary until they removed all the stones and earth from beneath the water. In the summer of 1969, more than 1,000 trucks carried rocks and earth to the falls just to stop the flow and to clear the area beneath the cliffs.
Huh.
The loads
Wow.
were being dumped upstream of the waterfalls for 3 days. What do you think? Did they succeed in stopping Niagara Falls from flowing? Let's see. A cofferdam was a temporary structure the engineers made at Niagara Falls between the mainland and Goat Island. It was constructed of 27,000 tons of rock and earth brought to the site by around 1,200 trucks. The total length of the structure was 600 feet, or 182.88 meters. What do you think? Did these loads of rock and earth stop the water going towards the falls? Did the water perhaps flood the island between the Horseshoe and Bridal Veil Falls called Goat Island. Let's see what happens next. As you can see from the picture, the engineers did succeed in their endeavors to prevent water from going towards the American Falls. The water was redirected from there towards the Horseshoe Falls. Thus, the waters that were tumbling down the cliffs of Niagara Falls were silenced for some time. Actually, only the waters of the American Falls were stopped because it wasn't possible to stop the whole Niagara Falls at the same time. We already realized there are 3 different waterfalls within Niagara Falls, so that enormous amount of water had to go somewhere. There were 2 main concerns the locals had regarding this operation. First of all, they were afraid of the waters because it's always dangerous to block the natural path a river has. So what if the waters didn't obey and flooded their land? The second concern was about the tourists. They were afraid that the lack of water would cause a decrease in the number of people who would want to come and see the falls. On the other hand, others thought the exact opposite, that this unique opportunity to see what was hiding beneath the falls would attract a number of people they couldn't handle. Yes, unfortunately, the drying up of the American Falls resulted in the loss of a significant number of tourists. At the end of the year, that is
Well, I would have been there.
1969, the number of tourists who came to see the rocks without the water was lower than the numbers from the previous years when the falls were at their fullest volume. Nevertheless, the people who did come to visit Niagara Falls during the summer months of 1969 had a unique opportunity to take something from the site and bring it home. Some took rocks, while others, who were luckier, got amazing coins from the riverbed. While planning this operation and executing it, no one could even dream of finding anything so gruesome as skeletons. While the water was receding, the spectators noticed some bones beneath the water. At the time, it wasn't clear whether the bones belonged to some ill-fated people or perhaps there were some big animals which drowned in the waters of the river. One thing was for sure, it was better there were not so many tourists because that awful scene would prevent them from coming to Niagara Falls ever again. The first 2 skeletons the engineers stumbled upon were of a man and a woman. After they were examined, it turned out that the man met his death by jumping into the waters of Niagara Falls. Still, they didn't give the year of his death. As far as the woman's skeleton was concerned, no other possible causes of death were visible, apart from drowning. It was speculated that the woman witnessed her lover drown and decided to meet him in death at the same spot. As the waters receded, more skeletons emerged from beneath. Apparently, in the past, this site was a place where many people decided to say goodbye to this world. Still, this fashion isn't only related to past times. The experts of the matter say that even today, every year, about 40 people come here to commit suicide. It's understandable why suicidal people have always been attracted by this place. Once you jump into the falls, nothing can save you. Well, maybe only a miracle would do the trick. No human arm can fight the cold and vicious waters. Not only suicidal people lost their lives in the waters of Niagara Falls. In the past, there were many accidents in which some people accidentally fell and disappeared. Even some stunt people came here to make their own shows and try to do the impossible, to jump from the cliffs into the water and then swim towards the shore. Of course, this was never possible, nor will it be, since the water is fierce and no human can defeat it. So if you have plans to do it, please share with them this video and make them change their mind. Believe it or not, back in 1901, a woman by the name of Annie Edson Taylor did something not many people would even think of. This 63-year-old teacher decided to become famous and connected to her favorite place on Earth in a special way. She entered a big wooden barrel, trapped herself in it, and asked some people to throw the barrel from the shore. Yes, she did survive, but her experience was so bad that she said it was a bad decision, and that no one could ever again do such a crazy thing. Still, there's people who followed her steps. Some succeeded, others unfortunately lost their lives. Carl Southwick was a Canadian stuntman who, back in 1984, did the same thing as Annie Edson Taylor and survived. After some time, he decided to repeat the stunt in the Houston Astrodome in Texas, but unfortunately, this time he wasn't so lucky. Jesse, an American stuntman, wanted to travel down the falls in his canoe and did it, but
Hey,
no one
B
ever saw
Nest,
it.
how are you doing?
Some speculation say he survived, but that's unlikely because he would probably appear somewhere publicly to boast about his achievement. Those people who were present while Niagara water started receding were telling stories about their personal feelings about the findings beneath. They said they enjoyed the sight, but were also afraid of the unimaginable power the waters had. At one point, they believed they would break the dam, and in action of revenge for being tamed. Upon spotting the skeletons, they described how small and fragile they felt upon those immortal, omnipotent, and unpredictable waters. Even the engineers who took that operation on their backs admitted that they didn't know it would have been such a difficult undertaking. Before embarking on this undertaking, the engineers didn't know all the facts, but now when they saw the exact situation on the spot, they decided to change their plans. What they didn't know beforehand was that the rocks beneath the waters were supporting the cliff, so removing the rocks would probably have destroyed the whole place. Putting aside all the hard work they had to do by removing the rocks, this new aspect was more important than all the previous assumptions. They simply couldn't remove the rocks without making huge damages to the site, and that was it. But what, after all this work, had already been done? Did they simply leave everything as it were? When they realized that removing the rocks was actually a bad idea, they decided to build a permanent dam instead. Still, even that solution wasn't a perfect one, since the dam would have weakened the American Falls. Finally, they gave up on that idea also. So the engineers didn't remove the talus nor build the dam, but was the whole operation conducted in vain? Well, yes and no at the same time. Of course, they did realize the significance of the rocks below the falls and also found the bones of many people who died there, but still, what was to be done with the look of the waterfalls? Was there anything else they could do when they'd already made the efforts and made the falls waterless for some time? For 6 months in 1969, Niagara Falls didn't have water. Well, actually,
Wow.
the American part of the falls, so-called American Falls. The engineers worked on stabilizing the waterfalls for future generations. Even though there was a real danger of landslide, it didn't happen. The experts had introduced the landslide sensor to alert the people if the ground started moving. Fortunately, they knew what they were doing and no mistakes were allowed. Numerous bolts, cables, and anchors were built in the cliffs of the falls. The coffer dam between Goat Island and the mainland was destroyed in November 1969 by dynamite. That exact moment when the dynamite went off, the huge amount of water hurried along its old route, reviving Niagara Falls. The previous worries the citizens from the small city of Niagara Falls had now proved unneeded since the tourists again started coming in flocks. It was good that nothing had actually been changed by this huge job the engineers had done. Still, the falls proved to be stronger than anyone imagined. Though the absence of waters from the falls didn't change anything about the falls, what had actually made a huge impact on the falls was the development of the industry. Generally, this newly developed area of human work had influenced the whole world in some way, but nature suffered the most. The businesses which used the power of the waterfalls for their personal purposes also changed downstream. Well, it happened in every step of its development. Apparently, industry couldn't let nature work on its own without marring it in some way. Since the development of the industry interfered with the conservation works at the falls, something had to be done to regulate these two independent fields not to affect each other. While the experts cared only for the beauty of the falls, the businessmen cared only for the production of power. While the industrials were taking more and more water from the site, the nature experts noticed that and complained. Then they all asked for a debate in order to find a mutually acceptable solution. The industrials believed that they were actually helping Niagara Falls by limiting the amount of water that goes over the cliff. They thought that the less water there was in the falls, the slower the erosion would have been. The truth was that the erosion did happen at a rate of 4.5 feet per year. So according to the industrials, the less water there was in the falls, the slower the erosion would be. This makes sense, but did that really happen that way? Were the facts saying in favor of this belief? Let's see. Since neither Canadian nor American officials wanted for their industry to stagnate, they decided to agree with the business people. They accepted their point of view, but was that the right thing to do? Were they working towards destroying this natural beauty? This would be known in the years to come, but since Niagara Falls exists even today and attracts millions of tourists from around the world to its coasts, we can say that they made the right decision. The industry continued with this development, and the natural beauty remained the same. Since the two countries cooperated quite well on the matters related to this mutual gift from nature, they also looked for an innovative solution for the industrials. Since at night and in winter months there are fewer tourists, they agreed that factories can use up to 75% of the water from the falls.
Wow.
Days of spring, summer, and autumn, the amount of water the industries could take was up to 50%, no more than that. What was also allowed was for the industrials to change the lip of Horseshoe Falls. That way they made an amazing illusion of a powerful flow. Well, not much different today. All the points they agreed upon back in the 19th century and recognized even today are all the tourists that come to the falls more than once can say that they're always the same. Maybe at some point in the future, some experts will again decide to dry the falls to simply check what's beneath. Since this checkup already happened in the past, we can predict what's there beneath. More stones piled up high, some coins, and unfortunately many skeletons. It's estimated that around 40 people lose their lives in Niagara Falls in a year. An announcement was made back in 2016 by the Niagara Frontier State Park Commission saying that their plans include checking the bottom of the falls in the near future. We can hardly wait for that to happen. We hope there will be some live streaming for the social media users
Heck
interested
yeah,
to look
I want to
beyond.
see it.
What do you think? What other waters should be temporarily dried out, simply to check what secrets their riverbeds hide? We can only assume what could be found at the bottoms of other waterfalls, rivers, or even seas. What are your thoughts?
Whether or not you're a believer
Okay,
in
this is a little more like
it's
it.
hard to deny
All right.
things have happened in some strange places. And now with the visual aid of documented footage and the descriptive first-person accounts we have, we can get a better idea of what happens in these places. For For that reason, I decided to compile a list of just that. So sit back, relax, grab a burrito, and join me for the 10 most haunted buildings on Earth. Number 10 is Chateau de Brissac. This French manor house was built in the 11th century. It is still up and running today, however, paranormal experiences have been described. The manor has a dark history, as it was the site of a double murder. Apparently, this resulted in the manor being haunted by a spirit known as the Lady in Green. First-hand accounts say that she wears a green dress and her face resembles a rotting corpse. That's a bit harsh now. Number 9 is the Monte Cristo Homestead. This bad boy is a historic Australian property in New South Wales that is home to a pretty dark past. It was built by a local pioneer known as Christopher William Crawley in 1885. He moved in with his wife, and after he died, Miss Crawley locked herself in the house for 23 years. Since her death, people have reported sightings, with caretakers saying that strange things happening and hearing moans are not.
That looks like
uncommon.
someone's cigarette
It was purchased in
smoke with the
1963, and it now
I'm always
operates as a
suspicious of
museum and an
those.
antique store. Of course, it is
Looks
also
like someone was
a
holding a
tourist
cigarette in their hand and they
attraction,
took a
as it
picture.
advertises itself as Australia's most haunted house. A bit cheeky. Number 8
Oh, you got someone in the private chat.
is an Indonesian
Oh.
landmark. After its opening in 1907, many ghost sightings took place there.
Ooh.
What fuels the rumor
Hey.
that
Hey.
committed suicide
Yo.
increased the amount of
Oh.
tourists that complex.
Oh,
Hey,
Sorry.
Also,
My finger
a
was
horror
still
film
over the
made
button,
in
sorry.
2006
that's all right.
based
Hi,
on
guys.
Number
yo,
7
how you doing?
Buenos tacos. Buenos tacos. Who's got the tacos? Hello, kitty. Hello, Mongo.
The Japanese occupation.
And how are
Area
you,
was
handsome?
used as a large prison camp.
Working. It's
You're
a
at work
Monday.
right now?
It as a
Well, I work from the house, so it's
Oh, okay. I was about to say, you
These two
sneaky boy.
speculations fueled the
Sneaky
rumor
guy.
further, and
yeah. No, it's going good, guys.
Number
Thanks
6,
for the invite.
Heck
the
yeah.
Party House is named after
Like
the
this
girl
stream was
whose
supposed to be kind of
occupants
something
and
else, and it didn't work
investigators
out,
who
so I
entered the
didn't
house
tell the
have
person
left the
so they
area
wouldn't feel
with
bad.
scratches, burns, full-body apparitions, and objects flying through.
Yeah, it's Sith Lord's birthday.
Reports also state
Who?
that spirits
Sith
have entered
Lord.
the fray since Salad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
Scary
like I was gonna
place.
have him
Okay.
come on, and then
Number
everybody's gonna
5
come
is the
on and like
ancient
wish him a happy
Round Inn.
birthday and stuff.
This
I just didn't
English
tell him,
inn
but
was
apparently
built
he's
in
at the
1145.
Waffle House,
To start off the
hanging out, having
speculations,
coffee,
the
and
pagan
relaxing
burial
for right now. And I
ground
was like,
used to
oh,
exist there
okay.
5,000 years
Didn't
ago.
tell him.
Sightings have been seen on a consistent
You
basis.
know,
He's streaming
And
tonight.
guests
He's gonna have a
filled their
birthday
rooms
stream
in the
tonight,
middle of the
though, and
night
we're
because of
all
the strange
like to
happenings
come
that occurred.
converge upon his
Child sacrifices
channel and
and
say hi to
devil
him.
worship were
nice.
conducted after the current owner
I
So I guess we'll just have to
both.
get him
The
there. I was
current
hoping to
owner
get him
also
like an
claimed
early
to have been
surprise,
dragged out of
motherfucker.
bed
You know.
the first night he
right.
stayed.
What happened to Mongo?
St. Augustinian Lighthouse.
What do you mean?
This lighthouse was
I
built
don't see
in
him.
1974 in
What
Florida,
about?
USA. It is presumed to be haunted by 2
Oh
girls
shit!
who died there during the construction of the
Why?
Did I get you too?
There he is.
Wrong tab there. Sorry.
I was
There he
like,
is.
because like this thing over here is all full screen, so unless I look at the chat on my phone, I don't see the other people. That's why I was like, what do you mean he's
Number
gone?
3 is Greyfriars Kirkyard. This Scottish cemetery was
Uh,
established in 1961.
forgot what I was gonna say,
A homeless person broke into Sir George Mackenzie.
but
This triggered a number of strange
nice.
events, with apparitions being seen on a consistent.
Yeah, we're planning a big show Thursday night. Kai, his book is being released, so we're having a book.
Oh, right on.
Oh, very
Yeah.
nice.
16 years.
Yeah, so
50 people.
you guys
Someone
gotta stop
sends me a
on by.
reminder, I'll show up and give him a wiggle.
Reports of people collapsing.
Give him a hug.
Lean over to give him a nice,
Yeah.
inappropriate hug.
In 2000,
Yeah,
an exorcist.
I was gonna say I used to live in Texas for for a while, and I miss the Waffle House.
Lives from the establishment and stopped the exorcism as he
I used
said.
to like going to I used to like going to the Waffle House.
I never liked Waffle House.
2
Every
months
Waffle
later,
House I
he
ever
died
gone
suddenly
to
of
smelled like
heart
toilet
attack.
water.
Number 2
Ugh.
I don't know why. It just sort of has. Like after about 3 times in
This
like 2 different
penitentiary
states, I was
was
like, you know
famous
what?
for
No.
basically establishing
Right.
solitary confinement.
Mongo,
Wait,
where
I
you
thought
at?
this
San
was like-
Diego?
Confinement made
Yep,
prison
San Diego.
because of its dark.
Órale.
Paranormal experiences have been reported
That's
since
cool,
the
bro.
1940s. Since the closure in 1971, experiences increased. Reports include shadowy figures, evil cackling.
Ooh,
disembodied
shadowy figures.
footsteps.
Is this like an old
Cell blocks 12.
oh shit, no prison, no way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I heard cell
Yeah.
block, I was like, I have this
No
answer.
way.
One is the Hellfire Club.
Bye
I'm
bye.
not being biased just because it's Irish, okay? It is kind of creepy. Okay, just wait for it. Constructed in Dublin in 1725, it was built near a burial site. Not only that, but the stones from the burial site were actually used in the building process. The Irish Hellfire Club was a satanic cult that was founded.
Oh God, it's called the Hellfire Club, Satanic Cult. Oh gosh.
Creepy bunch.
You know, I don't even want to watch anymore when it gets demonic and shit.
It'll get past this part.
I'm such a weenie.
No, you're not.
They left to seek free for the devil, with people saying that the sightings they experienced
Ugh.
looked like the members of Hellfire.
I am slightly curious
It's
to
become a
what.
major
Ooh, the next one is teleportation
here
caught on
trying to
film.
cite the members of the Hellfire Club. Careful what you wish for. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit that like button. This is more than likely the last standard video I'll be making for October, with the next video probably being
Because he'll be dead.
trailer should be coming in the next few days.
It's like the last I'll make.
Coming together, but I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. Merry
I'll have tacos tomorrow. DJ Beto. All right. Is that Beto or Beto?
10
DJ.
teleportations that were caught on tape.
Ooh.
What? Oh,
While the
very
theory of
useful.
teleportation seems like something that spawned from some movie, it's actually been used in recorded fiction in the late 1800s. Because of this, there are a small amount of people who believe it's possible, and then there are people who believe it's actually being done. Certain videos have surfaced that apparently show these instances of teleportation, so that's what we're going to have a look at today. Now, keep in mind, I'm not saying these videos are real or fake.
Mm.
I'm gonna leave
Yeah,
you
that's
with
like, what?
these are supposed to be some of the most
Yeah, they could have edited that though.
teleportations ever recorded, so we might as well give them a chance. But without further ado, here are
Stupid.
I'll be like, what?
Number
All
one.
right.
This footage shows a person driving their car as they're about to pass an intersection. However, right as they go to cross it, this happens. This video left quite a few viewers confused, and for good reason, because it appears as if this car showed up out of nowhere. Even the people who were in the crash
Sure did.
confused about what just happened. So the question is this a car teleporting out of thin air? Well, whenever
No.
this surfaces, most people
I
point to the
don't.
fact that it's probably just a camera angle. And while that
Yeah.
may be true, we haven't really been given any definitive answers, so we can't exactly be too sure. Number two, this footage was taken by a CCTV camera that shows a police car and a truck driving past some traffic lights. It's here
Oh.
we see another vehicle drive past the two of them.
Oh,
and incredibly
what?
quick and
Right
fast.
through them.
Looks as if
Ah.
the car didn't even
That's
know.
Not gonna lie, something
And
similar
it looks as
happened
if
to
the
me one
vehicle
time.
literally drove through the police car and the truck. Some
That
people
was like me
Hmm.
between two girlfriends.
through physical objects that it's a form of teleportation.
Get rid of the old one, go to the new one. Ah.
The main three. This is footage that was taken in
I
Russia
know, right?
and shows four guys who appear to be looking for someone. They eventually find him, and it turns out to be this guy. So they chase him into a bookstore and eventually catch up with him. And that's when the event in question goes down. While a few people do believe that this is proof of teleportation, most people are understandably skeptical. Because, well, let's be honest for a second, this is a bit ridiculous, isn't it? This is a bit ridiculous? Indeed it is. But most people are pretty unclear as to whether this is in some kind of a movie, a TV show, or it's some kind of advertisement. In fact, many viewers were under the impression that it was a student project, so people have begged the question, why? Why is there so much effort put into it? There's extras, locations, half-decent special effects, all for something that people were going to fake from the get-go. So yeah, that is a little bit strange, but if it is fake, fair play to whoever made it because it is pretty cool. Number 4. This video shows us footage of a truck driving on a highway until all of a sudden a person seemingly appears out of nowhere. It looks as if they're only a few inches away from being hit by the truck. However, the person in question remains
Ooh,
relaxed. for
Yeah,
someone
I'm
who
kind of
is
like,
pretty
what
close
just
to
happened? That's
that's
weird.
creepy as shit.
walk
Yeah.
I'd be stopping and
almost
interviewing
look
that
like they're
bitch.
just
Be like, where'd you just
enjoying
come
the
from?
view or something.
No, I'm not getting near that person.
This person wearing tinfoil. Pretty sure this person's wearing tinfoil. So
Ooh,
often as
Pretty sure
known,
it's
ooh.
the weird appearance and the fact
Mm.
that they act in a very relaxed manner after almost dying. Some people believe that this person not only has the ability to teleport, but that this person may have traveled from a different time or a different planet. Which is way
Back
more
to the future.
doing right now. We're just gonna move on because that's too much. It's too much.
Hmm.
Number 5.
I agree.
Popular clip that was recorded in China. It starts off normally enough with the person behind the camera recording what appears to be some kind of a photo shoot. We then see a man walking down the street at a brisk pace. The video then takes a strange turn when his hands begin to light up. The person on the camera recording panics and makes a run for it.
No, that's fake.
What?
Follow him. A small chase ensues and it ends up looking like the man gets
No.
close, but this is not the case. We see him one more time in a different location. His hands again lighting up, and like that, he vanishes. People have speculated that it's more than likely
Wow.
an advertisement for something, and that is
It's
of
weird
course
because it looks a
plausible,
little embarrassing.
but to
Oh
be
shit,
honest,
that's
if it's
showing.
real,
Ah, you know.
that's awesome. And if it's fake, that's awesome. Because either way, this video is pretty awesome. Number 6. This is footage recorded from a car on a highway. This car here is the one to look out for because while it was switching lanes, this happened.
Crap, I don't know what to eat.
Oh gosh.
Not clear where this guy came out of because
It looks like he
before
just
the
came
car
out of
switches
like the
lanes,
side
you can't see
panel.
him anywhere in sight. So people have come to the
Oh,
assumption
he jumped from the medium.
kind of a teleportation power and just used it
Uh,
I'm in the wrong place. People have argued
Apparently
this by
nicked his
stating
mirror,
that it may have
too.
been a camera angle or the man may have fallen out of the car.
Which is
However,
weird
only a
because,
couple of
like,
seconds after the man is hit,
how
you
would
can
he hit
see
his
that the
side
doors
mirror
are closed.
and then come up
So
from the angle
question
he
of
was unless
where
he actually
this guy
was
came
run
out
over?
of remains unanswered. Number 7. This
how long
is
you guys gonna be streaming still?
in the clip, we can see 2 cars drive by when a dog
Hi, Bone.
appears out of nowhere.
Mwah.
The dog seems to just fade into the
Aura?
street, and neither
Yeah.
of the cars
How long are you guys gonna be still streaming?
making it seem
I
like the
don't
dog
know. I
did
might.
actually
We might
appear
cut it and
after
like
the cars drove by.
take care of some
Number
stuff
8.
and then come back and
This
stream in a
video
little
features
while.
2 guys in some woods
Okay.
talking to the camera. At one,
Uh,
it appears as if someone
I gotta bounce for about a half hour, so I'll see where you guys are at.
cameraman notices
All right,
this,
I
but
might actually wrap it
eventually
up here in a few
the dog
minutes and
confuses nothing.
like
Until
after this
it
video
happens
because I
again.
promised my daughter I'd
At
take her
this
to the
stage,
Halloween
they all
store.
start freaking out and begin.
Oh, cool.
At this point, that girl's
So
got
it's
more
very
money than I
possible that
do.
it might just be someone running the camera in general.
Yeah.
Either which they are
Grandma
doing is
knew
pretty
she missed her
incredible.
birthday
The
back in
camera
May and
can't
gave her
process it
$100, and I'm
properly,
like,
and the person
damn,
running manages to
13-year-old.
run by
Shit,
both
she got more
people
money
in
than I
the
do.
video
Ah,
in a second.
Baller.
Number 9.
right?
This is a very
Yeah.
famous and well-known
Well, it was
clip.
nice seeing you guys.
Chase a
Lots of hugs.
During
Super
which
happy to
he
have
Yeah,
you.
it's nice hearing you.
very strange
We gotta do proper shows someday.
manner on a
yes.
consistent
This is an
basis.
improper show. God damn it.
Pretty
Dang
confusing
it.
to the police.
Impromptu. The word is impromptu.
Oh.
Because right at the end of this whole
All right, Four Eyes.
the car that's being chased makes a turn and immediately drives
Ah.
to a fence.
It's
I
gonna
got
be
my
like
four.
that.
This happened.
No, I have mine on as well.
Dude,
That's why I said it.
Number
Oh.
10.
Well,
This
yeah.
video was taken somewhere.
All right, guys. Peace
It
out.
shows a girl
Lots of
walking
hugs.
down the
See ya.
street. Some
Take
kind
care,
of
Mongo.
emits from her head. She almost immediately begins running, and soon after, she seems to vanish into thin air. We can then see a light in the distance that may suggest she just teleported. Now, I included this video in the list for a couple of reasons. 1, it's very interesting, and 2, it's very well made. However, the main reason was definitely because whenever a conversation about teleportation seems to arise, this video is almost always brought up. However, as much as I hate to say it, it is indeed fake. It was actually a part of a marketing campaign for a Chinese MMO known as Jusan 2, who are also responsible for this footage. And that's it for this video.
Well,
Well, I mean, why include it if you
hit
know that it was fake? I don't
It's
know.
so cool looking.
Subscribe for
Yeah.
similar top 10s. I'm intending to make this caught on tape thing a series where we take a look at a bunch of weird shit.
A bunch of weird shit.
Mm.
That sounds like my kind of commentary. Weird shit. I'm deleting some of these so that way, like, I don't replay them.
Mm-hmm.
These fucking hippies here. Did we check out that? No, we did not. Okay. Those haunted churches. Okay, that just sounds weird. Like, why is it haunted? Anyway, why are they showing? He says hi. Why are they showing Shakespeare? I don't know. They were probably they were showing some that probably didn't. Nobody knew they were fake at first, and so they're probably covering that. And like, in case you've seen this, turns out this one was fake. They still look cool though.
Yeah, there was one or two there. I was like, oh, whoa.
Yeah, that semi truck one. I was like,
yeah, that was like, whoa.
I mean, she could have been walking calmly. Because sometimes people kind of walk calmly, like when they're actually in shock. So, you know, they might present themselves to look almost normal because they're like kind of stunned. But like, I don't know. I would have stopped and be like, "Bitch, where did you just come from?" I think that truck was doing it because he pulled over.
Yeah.
Like I would go questioning them, be like, try to explain that. Of course, what I want to know is like, why did he swerve like that? Because when he went like this, you don't see anything, and then when he comes back like this, there she is. So unless
you would think you would swerve away from the center, you know, you think you would swerve away outside, go out the road instead of go into the other lane.
Unless he saw her over here and went like this to get around her. But it still doesn't make sense why she started walking from this way. Like that.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing is just weird. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, that was weird. You need fiber optics, bud. I don't know who does. I don't know if we have that. Do we have fiber optics? I don't know if we have fiber optics. Hey, it's something I never thought to ask. I remember commercials back in the day talking about new fiber optics that was coming. My parents thought it was suspicious. They're like, My dad thought that it increases their chance of being able to spy on people that have fiber optics, which I thought was weird. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Of course, now we find out our TVs and stuff do spy on us. At least some of them were like, I was like, man, my dad was like ahead of his time. Holy shit. I'm like, wow, I did not understand that. I've had fiber optic internet since the late 90s. Well, you're just fancy all over the place. Broadband. Do I have broadband? I mean, I have broadband. That's possible. Anywho, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna eat. I'm not even really super hungry, weirdly. I know, right? I'm like, my leg. My leg feels like it's trying to swell up again. That's like the downside of doing it. It's like the legs are like, They've been spying on us since the mid-'80s. Okay, fair enough. Are you making any progress on your watchtowers? Every time I stream, y'all show up. Weirdly enough, like, the eating videos seem to do fairly alright. Usually my videos don't really get, like, a lot of views because it's not a live stream. But, like, they've done a little better than some of my, like, shorter live streams. And I'm like, oh.
How many of those have you made? I saw one from the other day. Two. Okay.
Yeah, I just have two. Apparently, crunchy is the thing. So apparently, people like to hear crunchy things. Apparently, that seems very popular. Some channel that called it, I forget, it was Sensory Sensations or something like that. Said, "Oh, the crunching was so satisfying." I'm like, oh, I feel kind of good about that. Thank you. You need to stretch more. Yeah, I know. I probably do. I should probably go do that, actually. Stretch a little, and then I have to get in the car and take my daughter to the Halloween. I'm just going to go buck wild in there. Like, Like, that's the place I would want people to find my birthday presents, is in the Halloween store.
When's your birthday?
Huh?
When's your birthday?
Day after tomorrow.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's
very
why.
Nice.
Is it not mine? Let me check my Twitter. Is it not mine? Profile. Let me check my profile. Okay, I'm parent heavy. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing. Aw, AFK tweeted me out. What a sweetie. What? Oh, there is his profile. Fuck, I'm stupid. Okay, my pin tweet is the body paint thing. Okay, so 81% said that's a yes. Yeah. So, unpinned. I don't know, like, I think I need someone to promote me. If I do not see you in a couple of days, happy birthday. Thank you, DJ. Mwah. How many hours do you need? Oh my god, I think I need like 1,000.
Oh, wow.
I know, like, they like to keep taking my hours from me, so, like, and besides, you gotta keep up with it, and they keep moving the goalposts. I kind of don't care, because honestly, like, if you get paid by YouTube, they take a huge chunk of it. You only end up with a few pennies, so it's really, like, if people want to just give me money, they can really just, like, I can just drop my PayPal link and they can give it to me. Then they don't have to, like, if they say, hey, I want you to have $20, I'll get $20, not like, you know, $8 or some shit or whatever it is. Like, yeah. Like, yeah. I've heard a lot of people like talk about how like little they actually get from YouTube, unless you've got like millions of followers. And I'm like, I wouldn't know what to do with that many empty people. Oh my god. I'd be like, So yeah.
You got any plans for your birthday?
I have no idea.
No.
I don't know. Like, I think it depends on the weather. I have to check to see what the weather's been like. Like, I don't know. It's a tough call. But let me see. Let me go back to my screen. Good stretching exercises. Yes, DJ. I will. Dang. Probably need to. Definitely need to do stretches before and after live streams for sure. Someone called Meet Kevin has 895,000 subs. Holy fuck! I would not know. Like, I wouldn't even know how to act. I mean, like, I'm not gonna be good at live streaming if I can't like individually say, you know, hello DJ, hello Terry, and this. I mean, I'd spend like a good hour just going down a list of people trying to name them. Like, oh my god. Martial arts is more practical. Not when you're old. Like, I mean, unless you know you've been doing it your whole life, then yeah. But no, getting started when you're almost 40 is a little rough. Like, oh god. But I will have to, yeah, definitely start doing some stretches. My lower back is bullshit. It is. But if I, like, exercise my lower back, like, I feel great. My lower back feels great for a couple of days. And I'm like, all right, we're going to have to do this more often. Yeah. God, I'm sitting here looking at that. Almost 900,000 subs. Quite frankly, like, yeah, I'd be fine if people just, I don't know. So a lot of people make money, I think, on the super chats and like ads. I actually, some people who aren't monetized have caught YouTube playing ads before their videos, and I'm like, oh really? I wonder where that money's going, because clearly it's not going to this person. So YouTube is scandalous, honestly. DJ's like, I'm over 40. You've probably been doing it for a long time. I got started in my 20s. I see. If you've been doing it for a while, that's different. Trying to get started at this age is harder. It's scary. I don't have the balance I once did. It's weird. Anywho's, anyways, we will probably stream later. I might stream later. I don't know, because Sith Lord's birthday is today, and he's gonna have like a little shindig over his channel. Like a bunch of people are invited, and so we can all converge upon and say hi. You know Sith Lord, right? The stoner.
True. I don't think I've really. Don't think I'm really familiar with him.
Oh.
I've seen it. I've seen his name and stuff.
Oh, okay.
I've seen him pop up in chats, but I don't really.
Well, you know of him. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, today's his birthday, which is weird because it's also my first. Well, actually, no, I should say my deceased first husband, not my first deceased husband. Makes it sound like I got more than one deceased husband.
Mm.
Like, no, I'm not killing them. No. Yeah, unfortunately, he was a diabetic that really loved his alcohol, sadly.
Mm.
Yeah, and didn't take care of it, didn't keep up his blood sugars properly. Had diabetic neuropathy up here. It wasn't good.
Wow.
Yeah, he was like 12 years older than me. But still kind of young, though, for that, to do that to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. Like, he was a trippy one. Like, I'm not going to say bad stuff about him. I'm not going to try to say bad stuff about him because that's just not polite. But I remember one time where he said that he had been, like, I guess he challenged and decided to, like, if you exist, go ahead, strike me down. Apparently he was doing construction work or day labor stuff at a church over in England or Ireland, and that's where he was from. And he came to America. But and some of the other people were like looking at each other like, dude, he's like, see, quit being a pansy. And he mentioned that on and off through life and stuff. And I'm like, you ever thought of the fact that you've got type 1 diabetes at 28 and you're not in good health? Did you ever think that maybe it's a slow strike? And he's like, I'm like, I mean, I'm not saying God's doing it to you. I'm just saying, sometime after that, your health started declining. Like, I'm just saying, it's weird. So, So, yeah. Like, yeah. I believe just enough not to say stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not to God, not to Muhammad, not to nobody. Like, nope, just in case. Nope. Some one with multiple arms gonna bitch slap me. Like, no, I'm not risking it. I'm not gonna talk shit about it. I'll talk shit about people, but and only if it's absolutely necessary. But like politicians and stuff. Well, we have our First Amendment, so we can make fun of them. It's healthy. You can regain balance with yoga. Oh my gosh, I could try. I actually do have some yoga DVDs, and I've tried them once. Like the computer I had or the disc reader I had at the time just wasn't very good. So I was like, if you get diabetes early, try eating healthy. I thankfully do not have diabetes, and I really need to do things. Diabetes doesn't really run in my family. It's not impossible to get, obviously. I'm just saying it doesn't. We're not genetically have a tendency toward it. Like my dad's brother had light onset of type 2. But that's because he wasn't taking care of himself as much. He had a little bit of a Buddha belly thing going on, and like they say that the some of the weight around your midsection is like the biggest problem. I mean, I don't know his dietary life. I never really saw my uncle very often, but I don't even think he actually got full on diabetes. I think he was just like close to it. So, and as far as I know, nobody else in the family on either side ever had it. So, but yeah, I still need to eat better. I do. Like those videos where it shows me eating like unhealthy stuff. It's like, I don't know. I like if I want to eat like total white trash, I'll do it for the video, Yeah. Nobody's gonna be interested in seeing me eat like a bowl of sauteed mushrooms. Nobody's gonna give 2 fucks about that.
No, yeah, I was looking it up because I saw those videos and I was like, okay, let me see what else is on.
I know some people of
you know,
something,
YouTube,
something
like
chicken,
there's
and
heaps of
you eat it,
videos of
and
just
eat it, and it's
people
just like
sitting down with like a
they look like they're trying to die.
plate of marshmallows or whatever, just like eat going to town. You know, I'm like, oh
Right, yeah,
wow,
they're eating like they're trying to die for sure.
yeah,
And
like,
I'm like one of my videos, like the video with the burger, I actually cheated because I cannot eat a shit ton of food at one time. And so what I did is I ate the burger, and then like when you see me eat the crepes, that was actually the next day. I just made sure I had the same shirt on, and the lighting was the same. So you think it was one after another. It was actually many hours apart because I can't eat such a ton of food at one time. So I kind of had to cheat at it. I don't know if that's cheating. Like I don't know if it's all about. I think it's different for different people. Some people like to see a lot of people eat food or to eat a lot of food, and some maybe it's just the sound of it. Like everybody's got their own thing. So I just kind of cheated, had them together, so it looked like it was one after the other, just in case that's what people were down for, you know. But I think I got more success with the Chinese food because the little crab rangoon. Well, it's like cream cheese. It didn't have any crab in it. It was just rangoons, I guess. The rangoons had a nice crunch, and apparently that was like people who like to listen to the sound like crunchy sounds and stuff. And I'm like, okay, so they like crunchy sounds. All right, check. I don't know about the drinking part. Like as far as like, there was one video of a guy, and he's like, there's not much of his drink left, so you kind of hear it do the slurp sound. Like not a lot, but just like to let you know it's empty. So I'm like, I don't like drinking out of straw. This is what I drink out of. The medication I take, I have to stay hydrated. So something like this big is just not going to fucking cut it. It's just not. That's going to last me about 5 minutes. And it's like, I'm like, I might as well just save the environment and reuse these. I know it looks really gross. Sorry, y'all. But it's ground flaxseed at the bottom.
oh well.
It's supposed to have omega-3 acids, fiber. It's supposed to make you feel full. Like, so, you know. Oh my God, fake video alert. What? Like, Bone just came up with that. I'm just like, where did that come from? oh, about me putting the two videos. Well, I did eat it. It's not like I didn't eat the food. I
Fraud.
did it right
Just a poser. A phony.
Well, it would be phony if like
if you
I was supposed to eat a ton of food in a certain time frame and live. But that was not that. It was just if people want to see some food. Yeah.
60-minute eating challenge video. You know, some
Yeah.
kind of thing like that.
Like I wouldn't say, hey, I'm going to eat this food in an hour and not. Yeah, I'm not going to make a promise I can't eat.
Yeah.
My favorite part was the crunchy sound too. Ha! Okay, I have to find food that's crunchy. So, all right. I hate raw carrots, so that's out. I mean, I like carrots. I like carrots. They don't try to break my teeth off when I eat them. But all right. So let's try to think. I don't necessarily want fried chicken because it has to be extra crispy to have that sound.
Yeah. Celery. Celery. That's crunchy.
Oh, I hate plain celery.
Oh, you hate celery.
I like cooked celery, but I don't like plain celery. So you got to try to think of something like
something tasty.
Well, yeah. It does look gross, but how does it taste? The celery? Celery just tastes like grass.
It can be bitter.
When you cook it, the better flavor comes out, but when it's raw, it's like a really thick thing of grass you're just chewing on. Some chick called Susan liked or hates something I said online. 3 messages. If she likes it or hates it, you're not sure. Maybe she's not sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
So let's see. The rangoons are nice and crunchy. So I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
What else would be raw celery is gross, right? Yeah, like.
Oh, it may be not gross. Well, it may be gross for some people, but you get used to it. You eat it.
I don't like eating something until I get used to it. It's pure cellulose. Yeah, I mean, I thought cellulose was, well, I guess it can be plant pulp, but I thought it was tree pulp in general. But yeah, it's like, what else else is crunchy?
Wonton
Crackers.
chips.
Crackers are crunchy.
Oh,
but I don't
crackers.
like
That's a good one. It's a good one.
I don't know. I don't know if it looks as delightful to people as like burgers.
Yeah.
Ooh, if I had a burger with onion and I had put the onion, I could. I like raw onion with my burger. So that. Could work. Yeah, so I could be like, and take a crunch of the onion. So that might work. Let me think. What else? Onion. Maybe people like that crisp crunch sound. I don't know. So,
Cabbage. You get some
I
cabbage.
like cabbage, but I like it when it's kind of stir fried a bit. But I mean, like, it might still have crunch. So yeah, okay, we could add cabbage to that. All right. Or if I make coleslaw, it'll have a little bit of a crunch. So I just don't know how well it'll be picked up on my phone. Although my editing thing, all I gotta do is just raise the volume slightly and save it, and then it just brings out the sound better if it's already there. So that's what I did with the Chinese food thing. That's why the crunch was like noticeable, because I didn't know people would be able to hear the zucchini I was eating. They had a bit of a crunch too, but it's quieter. So I don't know what I would have. Well, I think. Well, I know potato. Oh, maybe if I could find healthy potato chips, like because they have. Well, I think potato chips in general, because they have like veggie chips that are made out of like beets, sweet potatoes, so it wouldn't be quite so bad for me. But that would have a fuck ton of crunch. So that's an option. And plus, it has lots of different colors. So, like, one's orange from the sweet potatoes, and one's like really red from the beets. So it would have like pretty colors too. People would probably like that. I don't know. It's one of the things I think I have to walk to the store and just kind of look at things and try to judge its crunch.
Yeah. Raw cucumber. Raw cucumber. That's got a good. Even like those mini cucumbers. Those are pretty nice.
Oh yeah. Okay, cucumber in my salad's not bad. Yeah. So yeah, it would have some crunch. That's good. That's a good point there. Yeah, that is good. I never thought of shopping based on sound before. So I'm sitting here like, I'm sitting here like, how do I shop for sound? What the fuck? Oh my god, are they back already? Oh no, that's okay. That's Aunt Jazzy. Okay. I like water chestnuts. I hate water chestnuts. Like that's like the key to like hanging out with me is like if there's somebody I can like fob my food off on. Like some of the food I like bacon. Like certain burgers come with bacon on them, but I don't like it. And if they forget to not add it, or forget to add it, or to leave it off, I'll like peel the bacon off and like give it to the person and they'll eat it like that. Yeah. I dated a person once, and I can't remember who it is, but I would eat strawberries, and they didn't mind the green part with it, so they would take it. They would eat that part, and I was like, they're eating like the little grass.
They eat the leaf. The
leaf. Have like some strawberries still left. There's a little stem, and they're like, yeah, and I'm like,
yeah.
All right, cool, all right, like that, yeah. So I kind of like that. So like my dad, like when I was, we lost him. He'll come back eventually. But like when we'd have Chinese food and my food had water, there he is. I knew he'd come back eventually. He didn't say goodbye, so
yeah, I did it again.
So we would have Chinese food, and I would give my dad the water chestnuts. I fucking hated them, and he'd add it to his food. So I always try to like want to hang out with people who are willing to like if I have pickles on my burger, I'm like, anybody want pickles? And they're like, yep. I'm like, there you go. So that way, because there's no sense in just throwing it in the trash. It's perfectly good. I just don't want it. There's no sense in wasting it. So if somebody else will eat it, by all means,
You could get some walnuts. Get some walnuts and crack them.
I like almonds.
Nutcracker. I don't know if that would be. That just sounds funny to me. You get some walnuts, you just cracking them.
Wait, no, hold up. There are some people who like to listen to different sounds. I heard one girl is doing really well crumpling paper and whispering.
Ah. I'm gonna have to look up some of this
and
stuff.
just slowly crunching and cracking it. People might like it. That's a great idea. Fabulous idea. Good job. Mongo does think big. See, guys, the name is not a lie. That is a great idea. Huh. Yeah. I don't drink soda, but I think the sound of a drink being opened, I think, is appealing to people. I kind of like the sound, actually. I don't know, it sounds crisp and fresh when it does that. Is that weird? So I guess I can kind of see the appeal. I don't drink soda, though. I haven't drank soda in years. Oh, my God. I would only more or less cracking nuts. Breaking them occasionally. But I have some pondering to do. Anywho. But if anybody wants to show some love for an upcoming birthday, you are welcome to. If not, that is cool too. And of course, it's been awesome having our buddy Mongo here to visit with us. Super cool. He's hiding behind his avatar.
Oh, well, I figured I was doing you a favor, Well, we'll leave the cameras for the pretty people.
Oh my God. You are silly. You are a handsome teddy bear. Hush up.
No, it was a pleasure being on here.
ASMR artist. Are you sure you haven't done this before, Mongo?
I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I'll have to look some of this stuff up. Depending on what I find, I might have to delete my search history, but I gotta do some research here.
Just go to DuckDuckGo. It's supposed to be a search engine that doesn't track your movement.
Oh.
Don't judge me. There's some things I wanted to look up because I was curious, and I'm like, I don't know what the NSA would say about this, but I'm just legit curious. So, I know it's terrible, but like, what do these chemicals do? Although I better go through this way. Oh shit! Okay, Fumes. Ooh, okay. I was curious how to make chloroform because someone said you can make it at home. So I didn't want someone to think I was going to chloroform someone. So and I found out I was like, oh, there's like a kind of a weird process to it. This is something you definitely want to do outside. Because there's like particular chemicals you put together. Well, one of the chemicals is definite, and there's two like it's one, but you could use this one instead, kind of. So one of the chemicals could vary slightly, and you definitely don't want to mix that indoors without like something like serious. Like you want to fucking mask over your face and be outside. And apparently you can also distill it. Because I'm not gonna tell the chemical because I don't want my channel shut down. But like if you have the way of like a distiller, you can like do that, and the stuff that drips out is supposed to be like the clean actual product and not like a murky version of it. I mean, they said it's still risky to do anyway. So I was like, and I'm thinking, how do you distill it? I was sitting here like, wait, because it didn't mention a flame, and I'm like, wait, how are you gonna distill it? Does this thing have a flash point? Because I don't want that blowing up on me. Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Do not want that.
What would be for something like this? Because one of them is incredibly flammable. So it's like, I don't know if bleach is fine. I don't think it is. Is it? I don't allow bleach in the house, so I don't know if it is. I've never read that. So I've never like, hey, let's see what happens with like bleach on fire. Yeah, no. That doesn't sound like it. That sounds like a horrible chemical fire. So yeah. So that's why I know about DuckDuckGo, because sometimes I look up things just because I'm curious. Like, what is it? And I don't want like people finding it and being like, what is she up to? I'm like, I'm really not up to anything. I swear to God. I'm just curious, and I'm curious about odd things. But anywho, but everybody, thank you so much for coming and visiting us. Mwah. We might stream later, but we might not, because we did not want to interfere with Sith Lord at his birthday stream, which we will probably be attending. In fact, I'll probably be retweeting the biscuits out of it when he tweets about it later, or when I find the exact time. But he told me, and I forgot. Like, he told me like what time it was my time, and I just blanked on it. Like, I'm not the brightest person sometimes. I'm sorry. Mora, you still making movies? I was trying to. There was one movie I wanted to make. A couple, and my daughter was absolutely just difficult. Like, I could not bribe her, not with a cell phone, not with like an anime shirt, nothing. I could not bribe her into being in this movie. You know, not has been a very long movie. I'm like, dick, because she's the only person that looks genetically similar to me. And so it makes sense to have someone who looks like me play my daughter because, believable. But she is a difficult ass. And so I'm like, I don't know what kid could like substitute, because I don't like kids I know, they don't look genetically like me. Or they're too, or if they even kind of do, they're too young. They may not be able to play and understand their part in it. So I'm like, because my daughter's half sister, her youngest half sister, could like hair and skin wise could be related to me, but she's like a little bit on the spectrum, so she would have a little bit of a difficulty, staying focused and everything. So I'm like, fuck, that's out. I noticed the change on. Oh wait, hold on. Adverts are now in the video suggestions on YouTube. I noticed the change Sunday. On my channel, like if they're playing ads or something on my channel, they better be paying me for it. It's called parental pushback. Well, if she doesn't want to be in it, you gotta remember she's a teenager. The annoyed teenager face is going to ruin the whole scene if she doesn't want to actually be in it. Plus, if you can't like bribe her with a cell phone and anime, I'm out of ideas. Like, like if that doesn't win her over, nothing will. She's a rebel like you. I know, and I don't know how to fight it. Because back then, I don't know if there would be a way to make me talk me into it and sound like. So I'm trying to think what would have worked on me, and I'm like. Anyways, yeah, pain in the ass. Yeah, it's hard to fight that. I didn't tell her to be a pain in the ass to me. Anyways, but we love y'all. Thank y'all so much, and we shall see you hopefully on Sith Lord's channel later tonight. Mwah.
See you later.